Hello, and welcome to the first episode being recorded in the new year, 2024. Thank you, as always, for listening and tuning into the show. And I can't believe we're almost at episode 100. I have said that before. I'm saying it again. Here we are. Today, we're going to be talking about how to feel valued. And this topic came to me because in being in some Facebook groups with other women physicians, I see a really common theme of complaints recently. Complaints is perhaps not the right word, but a lot of women identifying that they feel undervalued, right? That they feel that patients don't value their time and expertise, certainly that their employers don't value their time or expertise. There's just this theme of, I am not valued for the work that I'm doing. And it shows up in a lot of different ways. And it got me thinking again, and we've talked about this before, but in order to feel valued, we need to stop giving away our value to other people. And what I mean by that is that we need to decide now that we are valuable and to start to practice that in order to feel valued. Value is an emotion, right? Feeling valued is something that involves perhaps some gratitude, some generosity, right? Feeling that you are a good person and, perhaps that you do good things. Although I'd love for it to be removed from accomplishments, right? Because we'll talk about this, but that is, the value that we have sat in for such a long time. But no one can give you the feeling of value. And that's really important to learn. We are people who've been trained in a manner that is highly reliant on external validation, right? To accomplish things in medical school, to even get into medical school, you needed a lot of external validation, a lot of, good scores on tests, a lot of nice letters from smart people, right, who would say, yes, this person is amazing, you should bring them into your program. We needed a lot of external validation in order to move forward and make progress. And so it's no wonder that we continue to feel like that is where our value comes from. But again, if we go back to value and feeling valued as an emotion, our emotions come from inside of us. They come from thoughts that we have that generate that emotion, that feeling, that sensation in our bodies. We might hear the words that someone else says and have a feeling of value, but we have to believe them to some extent in order for us to feel that way. If someone says something kind to you and you don't think it's true, you are not going to have the emotion of feeling valued. Again, nobody can give that to you. But we don't know this intrinsically, and we need to make a shift often from being in this place where we expect the external validation. We need to shift into validating ourselves. And so we're going to talk about some real steps that we can take in order to accomplish this. Because feeling valued as a human is really important. Yes, we want to be valued and recognized for the professionals that we are, for the roles that we have in our families and our communities, but it isn't tied to just one thing, right? As humans, we need to feel like we have value in the world. That's how we're going to thrive. That's how we are going to feel connected to other people. That's how we are going to feel, settled and comfortable in ourselves, in our own skin. You can't be comfortable in your own skin and feel like you're not valued. It doesn't work. Now, it is possible for you to be in an environment where people are treating you like you are valuable and to still feel comfortable in your skin, but that requires us, as you can see, to know our internal value. So let's talk about what we can do to help move ourselves along the spectrum. I'm assuming if you're listening to my words right now, that you have struggled with perfectionism and perhaps people pleasing, and again, this external validation issue. I'm guessing that you have felt like you've had to hustle for your worthiness, right? That you've had to demonstrate your value to other people, often by accomplishing things or, taking good care of someone or doing something kind for other people. That's the people who come to me, and that's the people who are listening to this podcast. And so if that's not you, if you are feeling totally worthy and valued, great, good for you. I'm so proud of you. You have survived, and you're doing well. But for so many of us who are struggling with feelings of unworthiness and not comfortable in our value, we are going to need to practice believing in our innate worthiness as humans right now, right? So practice having the thoughts that I, as a human with many parts, right? I am a physician. I am a wife. I am a mother. I am a sister. I am a daughter. I am all of those things, but those are all just pieces of me. I am not a physician first and everything else later. I'm not a mom first and everything else later, right? I am a human, and I've got lots of different facets to me, and all of those facets are valuable. All of those facets have worthiness, and I don't have to earn anything. I don't have to do anything to earn that, but I do need to sit in the value. What is my value as a physician? What is my value as a mother, as a friend, right? Each of us has parts of us that are we can put a title to, and we bring value to all of those roles, even if it looks different, right? We need to sit in the value of those different parts of us and to look at them as the whole and to decide, I am a worthy person, just as I am right now. I can still have goals. I can still have things that I'm working on. I am particular and someone who wants to learn, right? And so I'm always chasing new things, right? Wanting to add new skills and think about things in different ways. But I no longer do that from a place of trying to fix myself, from a place of trying to prove my worthiness. I do that from a place of curiosity. I do that because of the human that I am. That I practice sitting in the value of who I am. Again, not tied to my accomplishments, not tied to anything external, but just practicing feeling worthy as a human being right now. One of the ways that I do that, and that I'm starting to do that more and more intentionally, is step 2. And that is listening to the kind words that other people say. Now, when we're thinking about internal validation, we are relying on ourselves to just trust that we are good humans, right? That we are good humans, that we are fallible, but that we have good hearts and we are worthy. Listening to the kind words of others might sound like it's external validation, but so often when we have been in this path of relying on external validation, we are in this perfectionist habit, we are in this shame avoidance habit, and that has us disregarding a lot of positive feedback that comes in our way, right? When was the last time that you got a compliment and you really sat with it and felt it and accepted it and it really elevated your self-concept? That's what I'm practicing doing. But for such a long time, it was just dismiss, right? If a patient said something nice about the care that I provided them, in my head, I was thinking, yeah, but the system doesn't value me. Yeah, but I'm running behind. Yeah, but, I'm failing in all these ways. I couldn't hear their compliment because of the negative voices in my head that were not valuing who I was. Think about the last time that your child said something nice to you, or your partner, or your friend, right? And you just dismissed it. Yeah, they're just being nice. Yeah, they just, they care about me and they want something. No. The people around us, I presume, love us, right? Maybe they don't love us in all the moments in all the day, but the people who we have gathered around us are part of our lives. And when they say something kind to us, can we sit in the goodness of that? Can you sit in the goodness of something that comes from a stranger? Or even more difficult, right, from somebody who you respect and value, who thanks you for your work, who expresses something kindly. Can you let that in and not just make the assumption that they're trying to be nice, right? Can you really sit in that and feel that and accept that? I have noticed that part of the way that I do this is that as somebody says something nice to me, I kind of bring my body back a little bit. If you're watching me on YouTube, you can kind of see how I bring my body back, and I often place my hand over my chest and I take a breath and I say thank you. And all of those little movements are helping me to really accept and feel and just pause for a moment in the value that they're communicating to me. And in them communicating a value to me, I can let that into, the little bag of thoughts and energy that I carry around with me, right? I can let that in as evidence that, yeah, other people think I'm doing a good job too. I'm glad I think I'm doing a good job. I'm glad to receive the compliments of other people as giving me a little extra data. And when I'm doing that, when I am able to receive that from other people, that elevates my own sense of value, because you can see how this is a self-feeding system, right? If I practice sitting in my own value, then I can practice receiving, kind of communication of my value from other people. I can let that in and I can let it reinforce my own value, right? It's a beautiful circle. The third thing, and this one is really powerful, is what happens when you live from a place of value, where you consider yourself to be a VIP, not in an arrogant, jerky kind of way, but just in owning your own value, owning what you bring to the table. Again, we don't have to discount that we make mistakes, that we have flaws, that we annoy people sometimes. I've had that conversation many times with my kids. Yeah, sometimes I'm annoying, sometimes you're annoying. We're all annoying sometimes, right? That's just humans, right? We're allowed to be annoying sometimes. Hopefully we're not annoying too much, but we don't control that. But if I live from a place of value, if I'm making decisions, if I'm making responses to other people from a place of value, then again, I'm feeding this system in a really powerful way. And when I come from a place of value, I'm going to have better boundaries. I'm going to be advocating for myself. I'm going to appear more confident to other people. And all of those things feed into my experience, not only my experience of interactions that I have with other humans in the world, right? But it feeds into my existence, my experience of being somebody who is innately valuable. Imagine if you had, been in this energy of just having done something, accomplished something, had some big, lovely ego boost of some kind, right? And then you go to make a difficult decision, but you're bringing with you that energy of having done something really important. Your decision-making is going to be different in that moment than if you are coming from a place of feeling totally emotionally eroded, right? Run down, undervalued, not listened to, not cared about. Your decisions are going to be different. You innately are not different, right? You are still the same human being, but the emotion that we come with to, a difficult decision, a difficult conversation, to setting a boundary is really important because our emotions drive our actions. So you can see how in practicing having thoughts and believing that we are valuable just as we are, who we are right now as humans, allowing ourselves to get the boost from other humans and really listen to and feel their words and their nice energy feeds into our confidence that we are worthy and that we can make decisions from a place of worthiness, right? That we can be our own VIP. All of these things create a feeling of value in us, even if we have not changed anything else, right? Even if we are working in the same job, serving the same patients, working with the same people, even if none of those things have changed, it's common for us to think, I need to work somewhere else. I need to change these things. They shouldn't talk to me like that. You can choose to make changes in your external circumstances, but I'll tell you, if you don't change your thoughts, if you don't clean up your thoughts around your own value, this problem will follow you. It generally does, right? The things that we don't clean up before we leave something will follow us into the next version. But my experience of the same job could be tremendously different when I'm living in a place of my own value. Somebody comes to me and tells me, well, you're going to have to cover some extra shifts. They come to me and they say, well, we need you to take on this, or we've added somebody else to your schedule. Me living in my value is going to be able to respond to that differently. Now, perhaps I'm still going to go along with that plan, but I'm much more likely to be able to advocate for myself or to say, no, that won't work for me today. I'm going to need you to make a different decision. Or, well, if that's going to be what happens, then I'm going to need some help in rearranging this or having somebody else see this person or something, right? We will much better advocate for ourselves and what we need coming from that place of value. So many of us have experienced emotional erosion, right? Erosion of our value and worthiness, especially in the last several years, as we've seen such tremendous staffing shortages in healthcare. Things weren't amazing before the pandemic. They got so much worse for so many reasons. And, we can put aside the discussion of what all the reasons are. But when physicians and clinicians have had support staff taken away, when they're left cleaning the rooms, when they're left doing, all of the administrative tasks that are, better suited to people at different licensure levels, that erodes our sense of value, right? There's so many dings that have happened. And when we look at the insurance system and how they continue to decrease payments or to fight with you about coding for the appropriate level of service or any number of things, all of these things add into the sense of us not having value. But we have to start shutting that out. We have to believe in our innate worthiness, because then we're going to make different decisions. We're going to have a different experience. And that is ultimately how we feel valued. The insurance company coming to me and saying, well, I'm going to pay you $1.33 more for this type of visit this year isn't going to make me feel valued. I might feel a little bit valued if somebody said, hey, we're going to give you 2 extra weeks of vacation. That would be lovely. But I'm still going to face the same challenges when I come back. There are so many instances of this, and we could go on and on. But I want you to really lean into this practice. I want you to think of your goals for 2024 is to really settle into this place where you recognize your innate worthiness. You start accepting good energy coming from other people in the forms of compliments, right? Really letting that in, letting that feed your sense of value as further evidence on top of your own beliefs of your innate worthiness. And living from that place of knowing you're valuable, even if the other person in front of you is not communicating that you're valuable to them. That's okay. They are their own person. We don't need to bend over backwards to demonstrate our value to them. That's not going to help us in most instances. If I have a difficult encounter with a patient and, they're yelling at me and they want something and they want me to compromise my integrity to do it, right? They want a prescription that's not appropriate, or I don't know, they're mad about a bill or something else. I don't need to compromise my integrity in order to feel valued. But I can accept that, right now they are not valued in my care. That's okay. I've got my own back. And I can handle them much better if I can be somewhat detached, because I'm not responsible. I'm not reliant on them. I'm not expecting them to communicate my value to me in order to feel good. I can feel fine on my own. Do you see the value? Value again. Do you see the value incorporating this into your life? Do you see how you generating your own sense of value helps to elevate not only your internal sense, but the confidence with which you show up in the world? Being able to accept the compliments of others as well, right? Being able to gracefully let that energy in also feeds their energy. When you give someone a compliment and they brush it off, that doesn't feel very good for you as the compliment giver, right? So that's what we're doing to other people when we're bouncing off their compliments. Let's elevate everyone's sense of value and pleasure and niceness in the world by owning our value and allowing other people to own your values too. My friends, I'm going to call it there for today. Thank you so much for listening. I would like to ask a favor of you, though. I feel like this podcast communicates a lot of value, and I have allowed myself to receive your compliments, your feedback, including from people that I've been very surprised have been listening, friends and relatives. And it means a lot to me. What I'm hoping is that you will agree to leave a rating and review. And when you do that, that helps the show to be found, right? That helps to bring the show into other people's worlds. And as we are trying to work on up-leveling the show this year, bringing you better audio, I hope, but more importantly, great content that really helps you to live a better life, I hope that you will express your value of the words that you listen to by leaving that rating or review. The best place to do it is to leave that rating or review on iTunes. That really helps for whatever reason to get the word out. So I hope that you will do that. My birthday is coming up actually later in the week that this episode is airing. So you can consider that your birthday present to me. Please help me to grow the show by leaving that rating or review. All right. Stop harping on that. My friends, thank you so much. Have a wonderful week. And until next time, take care.